Marco Polo. Marco Polo was born in Venice, Italy on September 15, 1254. His father and uncle were wealthy merchants who already began trading with Chinese and Eastern merchants. Because of the constant threat of war, the Polos left Venice and eventually settled in what is now Uzbekistan. The move to Uzbekistan made trading with China in the east much easier. In 1264, Marco's father, Nicola, and uncle Maffeo set out on a 2-year-long journey to meet Kublai Khan, the emperor of China in what is now Beijing. According to the account of Marco Polo, Kublai Khan received them well and requested they come back to teach the Chinese people Western customs. In 1271, the Polos set out to return to China. This time they took Marco with them. The 4-year voyage across Western and Central Asia was long and arduous. After traveling by sea to the Persian Gulf, the Polos were forced to take an ancient route through the present-day Iraq, Iran, and Turkmenistan. They then traveled to the Gobi Desert and made their way through the several ancient cities. The route taken by the Polos became known as the Silk Road. Kublai Khan and his royal court immediately took a liking to Marco and appointed him commissioner in the Mongolian government. In the meantime, Marco studied the native languages and culture. Marco soon became a trusted advisor to Kublai Khan and began recording his observations of the great ruler and his territories, palaces, and riches. Marco described the Asian trading network, and in particular the silk, iron, and salt industries. He also described the concept of paper money as well as Chinese inventions such as porcelain pottery. Marco wrote the Khan's city, known as Kublai, was the most fantastic city in the world. When Marco's descriptions reached Europe, a new generation of explorers was born who imagined amazing fortune for themselves in the East. Marco remained the Kublai Khan for 17 years and recorded his observations throughout China. His recordings of a culture completely unknown in Europe proved priceless. In 1292, the Polos finally traveled home. The voyage took 3 years and took the Polos to the Spice Islands, Indonesia, where Marco described the exotic sights and amazing resources. After he returned to Italy, Marco was imprisoned during an argument between Venice and Genoa. While in prison, Marco dictated his observations to a fellow prisoner. His descriptions were soon published as a book called I Miloni, or the Travels of Marco Polo. The book became a huge success and inspired future explorers such as Christopher Columbus. Marco Polo died in 1324.
Created using Powtoon.